There's a reason you're seeing this right now. Not yesterday when doubt still wore the mask of reason, and not tomorrow when the moment will have already hardened into memory or regret. Not even 5 minutes from now when the signal may have already faded back into the cosmic static. This instant, this breath, this heartbeat, this flicker of awareness behind your eyes is the only opening that exists in all of space-time for what's about to happen. Because something is moving toward you, not through miles or screens or algorithms, but through the hidden architecture of time itself, where past choices echo forward like ripples in a dark pond, and future possibilities bleed backward like light through a cracked prism. And if this message doesn't reach the core of your being before May 2nd, 2026, it will not return. Not next year, not in 10,000 lifetimes. This is your final alignment, your last echo, your soul's final invitation. You might roll your eyes. You've seen these kinds of titles before. Urgent, cryptic, almost theatrical in their gravity. But if this were just another clickbait lure, your body wouldn't have just gone still. Your hands wouldn't feel slightly colder. Your breath wouldn't have caught mid-inhale like you've just stepped off the edge of a known world. And that whisper, not in your ears but in the hollow space behind your sternum, wouldn't be growing louder with every passing second. This is for you. Don't look away. Don't rationalize this away. This is real. That's not anxiety. That's not paranoia. That's soul-level recognition. Your higher self isn't hearing this for the first time. It's remembering a vow you made long before you took your first breath in this life. A promise whispered in the halls of light between lifetimes. When the signal comes, I will not hesitate. I will not doubt. I will step through. And now that signal is here, pulsing, insistent, and your entire nervous system is vibrating in response, not with fear, but with recognition. Most people live trapped inside the illusion of linear time, birth, school, job, retirement, death. A straight line drawn in sand, easily erased by the tide. They worship clocks, calendars, deadlines, tools designed not to organize life, but to contain consciousness to keep you small, predictable, obedient to repetition. But time isn't a line. Time is a spiral of awakening, coiling tighter with every choice, every silence, every unspoken truth you carry. And every year during a narrow band of days in April, the veil between consensus reality and the deeper currents of existence grows thin. So thin that if you press your awareness against it, you can feel the breath of your other selves on the other side. This year, that window doesn't gently close at midnight. On May 2nd, it seals with cosmic finality, not as punishment, but as completion the great cycle that began in 2012. The one encoded in Mayan star calendars, whispered in Tibetan monasteries, and now echoed in quantum field theory, is reaching its terminal resonance. A pattern that spans civilizations, dimensions, and lifetimes is coming to its final note. And you, yes you, reading this in your room on your phone, in the quiet of your private world, are standing at the exact node where that pattern either integrates into wholeness or shatters into fragmentation. Have you felt it? That strange density in the air since early April. Like the atmosphere is charged with unspoken decisions, like the world is holding its breath. The dreams that don't dissolve at dawn, but linger like unfinished conversations, with your future self leaving you disoriented as if you've just returned from somewhere real. The déjà vu that doesn't flash and vanish after 2 seconds but settles into your bones like a half-remembered promise. You've stood here before. What did you choose last time, and what will you choose now? These aren't glitches. These aren't random neural firings. These are soul signals broadcasts from the deepest layers of your being trying to break through the noise of daily survival. Your subconscious has been decoding messages your conscious mind dismissed as coincidence. That license plate with your childhood birthday, that song that plays the exact second you think of someone you haven't seen in a decade, that stranger on the subway who looked you dead in the eyes and said, "You're closer than you think," then vanished into the crowd. That book that fell off the shelf in the library with a single sentence underlined in red, "The door opens only when you stop knocking." These are not accidents. They are breadcrumbs left by your future self, scattered along the path to guide you back to your center before the trail dissolves into static. And here's the truth. No one dares speak aloud in a world obsessed with logic and proof. The universe doesn't broadcast the same message to everyone. It doesn't shout into the void and hope someone listens. It targets, it selects, it sends coded pulses through synchronicity, through silence, through the geometry of chance. And only those vibrating at the precise frequency can receive them. You're receiving it. That means you're not just ready. You're essential to the pattern, but readiness alone won't crack the door open. You must act not with grand spectacle or performative ritual, but with a single quiet act of radical alignment. Maybe it's finally forgiving the person who broke you, not for their sake, but to free the part of you still chained to that pain. Maybe it's deleting the app that drains your life force, the relationship that demands you shrink, the belief that you're not enough. Maybe it's writing a letter you'll never send just to release the truth you've carried like a stone in your chest for years. The action itself is secondary. What matters is the intention beneath it, the choice to stop waiting for permission and start embodying your truth, even if only for 5 minutes. Because after April 29th, the resonance field collapses. The energetic corridor between worlds dissolves and the door doesn't just lock. It unwrites itself from the architecture of space-time, not out of cruelty, but out of profound compassion, because lingering too long in the liminal space between realities fractures the soul. You were never meant to hover in the in-between forever. You were meant to choose and claim your reality. This isn't about blind faith or spiritual bypassing. This is about pattern intelligence. The ability to see the hidden threads connecting your life, your choices, your silences. Look back. How many times have you felt that inner nudge? The one that whispered, "Go left, not right. Stay silent, not speak. Walk away. Don't stay." And ignored it because it didn't make logical sense. And how many of those ignored whispers led to years of detours, heartbreak, or that quiet knowing sense that you're living someone else's life, playing a role written by fear? This is your last chance to trust yourself before the window closes, forever. Ancient mystery schools knew this. The Egyptians didn't align the pyramids just to stars. They aligned them to moments in time, specific junctions when the veil between dimensions could be pierced by a single focused mind. The Vic sages spoke of sand-sacred thresholds between time cycles where a single pure thought offered in stillness could ripple across lifetimes, healing ancestral wounds or birthing new destinies. Even modern quantum physics echoes this. The observer effect proves that consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it collapses possibility into form. So what happens when an entire civilization stops believing in mystery and magic and second chances? Reality hardens, doors vanish. The field of possibility narrows to a single dull track. But you're still watching, still listening, still feeling that inexplicable pulled toward something you can't name, but deeply know in your marrow that makes you rare, and rare souls are given rare keys. Here's what will unsettle you. And that's the point. This message has been chasing you your entire life. In the dream where you stood on a bridge between two worlds paralyzed by fear, while a version of yourself on the other side reached out a hand and said, "Just one step, that's all it takes." In the book you found abandoned on a park bench with a single underlined sentence, "The key is in your breath." In the stranger who handed you a white feather on a rainy Tuesday and said, "You'll know what to do with it," then walked away without another word. In the song that played on loop in your head for 3 days straight last March with lyrics that now feel like prophecy. All of it was preparation. All of it was rehearsal. All of it was leading you here to this exact moment, culminating on April 29th. And if you dismiss this, if you scroll away thinking, "I'll deal with this later," or "This is just another video," not only will the opportunity dissolve, but you'll forget it ever existed. Your rational mind will overwrite the memory like sand over footprints. Just stress, just the algorithm. Nothing special. But your soul, it will carry the silent, aching grief of the path not taken. The version of you who said yes will fade into another timeline, smiling whole free while you remain here forever haunted by the ghost of the life you almost lived. Don't let that be your story. So for the next 48 hours until the clock strikes, midnight on May 2nd, become a sacred witness to your own life. Pay attention not just with your eyes, but with your entire being. Notice everything. The numbers that repeat, 1111, 22, 3333, 4447. These aren't random. They're confirmation codes from the universe telling you you're on frequency, that you're being guided. The names that surface twice in one day on a billboard, in a text, in a dream. The sudden urge to call your estranged sibling, to visit your grandmother's grave, to burn that old journal filled with pain you no longer need to carry. The feeling that you must stand outside at 3 a.m. and look at the stars, even if you don't know why. These aren't whims. They're instructions from your higher self, encoded in emotion, delivered through intuition disguised as coincidence. And when you feel that inner nudge, act immediately, even if it makes no logical sense, even if it's just lighting a candle in silence, whispering a name into the wind, standing barefoot on the earth for 5 minutes as the sun sets, or writing a single sentence on a piece of paper and burning it as an offering. The universe doesn't need grand gestures. It needs sincere presence. It needs you to show up fully, honestly, without armor. Because here's the deepest truth of all, one that will either shatter you or set you free. You've already walked through this door before. In another life, you stood here and hesitated. You chose safety over truth, silence over voice, comfort over courage, and you spent the rest of that life wondering, what if? In another timeline, you turned back at the threshold, convinced you weren't ready, weren't worthy, weren't enough. And that choice echoed through generations of your bloodline. In a dream you forgot upon waking, you saw your own face on the other side of the mirror, eyes filled with compassion, mouthing the words, "This is your last chance. Don't waste it. I'm waiting for you." This right now is your karmic echo, your final opportunity to integrate what you left behind, to heal the fracture between who you are and who you're meant to become, to stop running from the version of yourself that's been patiently waiting on the other side of fear. After May 2nd, the quantum probability field resets. The branch closes, not because the universe is cruel, but because you were never meant to stay in the waiting room. The door exists only as long as you need it. Once the lesson is learned or refused, it dissolves. And the version of you who could have stepped through, he doesn't die. He simply continues in a reality where you said, yes, where you trusted the whisper, followed the sign, chose love over fear, truth over comfort. He lives in a world where your potential isn't buried under regret, but blooming in full color. While you'll remain here in the afterglow of a choice you didn't make, dreaming of a life you almost lived, feeling in your quietest moments, the echo of a door that once stood open and now is gone. Don't let that be your legacy. So don't close this tab thinking I'll come back later. Later is the oldest illusion in existence. The universe doesn't reward delay. It rewards presence. It rewards courage. It rewards now. If this found you before April 29th, it's not luck. It's not the algorithm. It's not chance. It's destiny handing you the key one final time. Take it, because after that even destiny stops knocking. And the silence that follows, it's not empty. It's full of all the lives you could have lived if only you'd